Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Three Man Weave, live here from the luxurious Radisson Hotel at the Portland Airport. 63-61, IU heading back to their first Sweet 16 since 2002. It was a tough effort tonight for the Hoosiers. They faced that VCU pressure, lived up to the hype. 22 turnovers. I believe they had like 18 by like the 10-minute mark of the second half, and that was their season high coming into the game. They had that against Kentucky and Chattanooga. But yeah, VCU's pressure lived up to the hype, but the IU defense stepped up late, holding the Rams to 2 field goals in the final 12-13. And guys were making plays that kind of struggled earlier in the game. Turnovers, Jordy Holes, and Victor Oladipo probably had, you'd say, their worst ball handling games, maybe of their career, actually.
Each of them had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, Oladipo and them combining for 10 turnovers, which almost equaled VCU's total. And then Will Sheehy with a huge baseline jumper. When he probably could have pulled it out for the last shot, but he was able to step up, hit a jumper that we have seen him hit a lot in his career, but still to make that shot under that amount of pressure was pretty impressive. Connor, talk about that shot. Again, he could have brought it back out, held it for one, but the kid who really has never seen a shot he doesn't like stepped up and hit a big one.
Seriously, and there have been countless times throughout his career where you could probably say, why are you shooting that? Why are you shooting that? And you know what? Tonight was one of those examples, and every IU fan in the world probably had their heart stop when he went up to shoot that, thinking, why in the world is IU not holding for the last shot? What are they doing? They're going to blow this game. If Will Sheehy misses that shot, he's a GOAT. He's an absolute GOAT. Victor Oladipo would have been a GOAT had Sheehy also missed that shot too, because he was the one that drove out of control and forced up that shot.
And the block just randomly, landed in.
And Tom Crean thought about taking a timeout there, but he said he wasn't going to take a timeout once he saw Victor drive. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so, credit Sheehy for being able to recognize the fact that he had an open shot. That's his shot. If there's a shot on the court that you want him to take, that's it. It's a mid-range jumper. Nobody on the team does it better than Sheehy. And for him to step up and make that shot, absolutely huge for IU. To be able to just... Even though it's a wide open shot, there's
it's
no
one of the toughest shots in basketball. I mean,
exactly
it's that little twinger shot.
Everything, mental game included.
Yeah, so credit a sophomore for coming up and making the biggest moment of his IU career, biggest moment of his basketball career, and ultimately it's what sent IU to the Sweet 16.
And there's another game winner from another different player. We've seen Verdell Jones hit big shots, seen Jordy Holes hit it, obviously Watford hitting it. We talk a little bit about Cody Zeller tonight. Again, he faced another guy who's kind of similar in size than him, in DJ Haley. And Haley was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, so he is, a quality player. He doesn't play a lot,
right?
Just because VCU's press, VCU comes out with your traditional starting 5 in terms of, really a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. But then Haley goes to the bench. Javante Reddick, who's more of an athletic 4, usually slides to the 5, and then the press, the havoc, starts after that. But Cody, he had 13 rebounds. That's got to be a season high or career high, or at least tied, I would think.
VCU chucks a lot. So.
Yeah, but still, he was very active on the boards, and I thought that was huge. And again, late in the game, when we've seen it so many times this year that, fans and everybody yelling, get the ball to Cody, get the ball to Cody. They did get the ball to him, and he delivered.
Yeah, it was the I feel like Cody Zeller tonight was a microcosm of the entire team and why they won in this sense, that it was composure, it was poise, it was not getting down on yourself. Cody even admitted himself, I think, of all people, he's the most harsh probably, outside of coaches and parents, whatever, we don't hear. But he was saying, I really did not, there was a couple moments there where I wasn't playing as well as I wanted to. I got and I think it was either Verdell or Elson I was talking to was saying, he got his shot blocked a couple of times, but he kept going back in there because he knew that he's the guy that's going to help get IU back into this game. And, it was just a matter of, even though he was a freshman, the mental game of it. He wasn't getting down on himself. He was the guy you want to get him the ball. He was the guy you want to get the ball to. He was asking for it. Maybe not, literally, but yeah, right. And in the end, the kid put up 5 for 9 shooting from the field, 6 for 8 free throws, 13 rebounds, 4 of which were offensive. 16 total points. The kid just had himself a game, and he provided matchup problems all night, running the floor with the best of them, and ultimately, he was definitely a huge factor and a model of consistency, that helped IU, onto victory.
He did have 4 turnovers, and I throw that stat out there because, from that standpoint, that's got to be a season high or career high for him. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he still was attacking late, even with those mistakes, shows you how much he has grown. Because I don't know if you would have seen this forceful, and I say forceful in the most pleasant way that it can be said, in terms of how he attacked. If this
Right.
game was maybe in January, I don't know if you'd have seen maybe more hesitant Cody in terms of attacking the basket late in the game. But he made plays late for this team, and if they want any chance to move on in this tournament, he's going to have to continue to make those plays.
Elston probably said it best. He's a freshman who doesn't play like a freshman.
Right.
How about, yeah, I mean, just to go along with the Zeller note, how about the three guys that were critical for IU down the stretch? Zeller, Oladipo, Sheehy. Freshman, sophomore.
Right.
That's a great point.
Everybody talks about, or everybody on this team talks about the experiences that they've gone through to get to this point and all that. But really, you had underclassmen stepping up in these huge moments for IU, and that's something that no team. I would say no team around the Big Ten can say that they have these underclassmen providing big, huge minutes for them. So, I mean, even if IU does get killed in the next round against Kentucky, at least they have that going for them,
Right.
and they have these kids getting big-time experience in these moments.
The future definitely looks bright. Let's talk about the defensive effort for the Hoosiers. It was unbelievable in the last 12-13. Like I mentioned, 2 made field goals for VCU down the stretch. They had a scoreless or 7-minute field goal drought, I believe, and it was like a 5-minute scoring drought for VCU. Now, VCU's offense, Shaka Smart admitted after the game, has been inconsistent all year long. And when they aren't, I know IU always says create offense with your defense. VCU literally does that. I mean, they make so many plays off their defense, creating turnovers into easy baskets, wide open threes. And the second half, they just struggled. Trying to get any consistency in the half-court offense. They were 25%, I believe, from the field in the second half. They just didn't really do anything. I just don't think they found the same rhythm that they did find in the first half. And part of that was Bradford Burgess and Troy Daniels, their 2 most consistent three-point shooters, did not shoot it well in the second half. And down the stretch, guys, let's focus on the last 2 or 3 minutes. Darius Theus, 61-56, I believe he made a jumper with about 2:15 to go. Comes down the other end. Cody Zeller gets called for a charge. Again, it's something that you don't usually see out of him. And then
A debatable charge call.
yeah, and then Daniels comes down, misses a wide open look for a 3. You come down. Victor, I believe, gets an and 1. Burgess comes down, misses 2 free throws. He's an 80% foul shooter, and that set the stage for Sheehy's play, I believe, or Victor. I think somehow he scored 2 more points.
Victor came down.
Sure.
Victor came down after Victor came down after the Burgess 2 misses and had the drive to the hole. The ball fell to Sheehy.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Cody hit 2 free throws
Right.
to make it 61-58, and then after that, like Connor said, Victor had the and 1, and then Victor looked like he was going to have another and 1, and then got it blocked and went into Sheehy's hands. Guys, Connor talked about after the game, besides NC State, we really couldn't think of a game where IU has been down multiple trips late, and they've been down 5 or 10 in the second half and come back and won. And, yes, it wasn't Kentucky hitting a game winner, it wasn't Ohio State maybe, but getting a stop on the other end. But VCU did miss a great look at the buzzer, but credit to IU for not giving up down 9 with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, I was writing the obituary. I know our good friend Terry Hutchins said to us after I had already written the losing article there, and
Right.
I was fully expecting this team to fold in that situation, just given the situations that they've been in, the way that they usually win ball games. They're ahead the entire game, not necessarily fighting and clawing back at the end. And players are going to come out and say, we believed in this. We never thought that we were out of it. And they're going to say the traditional coach speak. But at the end of the day, IU really didn't have too much of a palette besides that NC State game, which was 3 months ago, to say, all right, we can come back, win in a place that's not Assembly Hall, get big stops defensively, not trade baskets. We can come back and we can win a game that we desperately need.
Believe
really
that they can win.
Yeah.
Plus, I thought tonight, I mean, it's not like you saw a lot of guys question each other, but when you're trying to break a press, you do get a lot of frustration within your team, especially when you're turning the ball over 22 times. I mean, turnovers are one of the things in basketball that causes the most tension, I think, between your team. And you saw Jordan Holes, probably the most mad we have ever seen him, go to the bench and just really,
get ripped by Crean.
He got ripped by Crean, and then later in the game, he just went nuts when he came to the bench. I'm sure he was yelling things that Mrs. Holes would not have wanted him to say.
No.
But it was just one of those things where it was visibly frustrating for him. And Tom Crean played Remy Abel late in minutes on offense.
Jordan Holes was out for a lot.
Yes, when he could have put Jordan Holes back in the game.
Partially fouls, partially because of his blood.
Right, but he had chances to put Jordy back in the game and kept Abel in there. Remy, again, about
16 minutes.
About what you would expect out of him.
turnovers.
It was a very tough situation to put him in. I don't think him or Victor handled it very well. But at the end of the day, IU survive and advance. And in this tournament, that is the name of the game.
Survive in advance.
And VCU got a great look. You were almost waiting for that buzzer beater. We haven't had one
That's a VCU
all
shot.
tournament long.
Yeah.
That's how the story plays out for the Rams.
Darius Seastrove, Rob Brandenburg had a great look at it. Not one of the better three-point shooters, but he had hit some earlier in the game and missed it. So VCU, the glass slipper for them, does not fit anymore. But for the Hoosiers, they will travel now.
Well, it's broken for him.
To the ATL.
Hotlanta.
We do not know what time the game will be yet. I expect IU to be the prime slot, though. For the rematch against Kentucky, we'll have another three-man weave up later this week, kind of previewing that game. Talk about maybe the first game and what. Because both teams are very different from the first game. Verdell Jones obviously won't play, and Marcus Teague is coming off arguably the best game of his career today against Iowa State. So, sign off here from Portland. Thanks, guys, for watching this all week. We hope you guys like the coverage. For Avi Zalen, Connor O'Gara, I'm Kevin Bowen, and we will see you next week.
Fun week ahead.
Good plane ride.